Welcome to BetaTalks, Darryl. Good to have you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So you are INFJ jumper, right?
Right.
And that is NITI. So what is your exact type? What modality and animal stack do you have?
So I'm masculine, feminine, well, MF, NITI, and my animal stack is sleep, sleep, blast, play, consume.
Okay. So basically you are the same as Sadhguru, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You actually told me that before. Yeah. So can you resonate with the type that you were given? Do you feel that it's accurate or yeah?
um, Looking at it on paper, I can resonate with it, but seeing it in person, like on Sadhguru, it's like that's what I aspire to be. Like I aspire to be like that. It's just I can just see I'm far away from it.
You're a
But
bit
some
younger.
things, yeah, a bit, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but you aspire to be like this wise old man who gives advice to everyone and just kind of has it all together, seems to know what he's doing.
Um, I feel like if someone calling you wise, that's just up for like it's like up to the people to kind of call you that. But I don't necessarily want to give everybody advice. I just want to, I don't know, like be some kind of guide or something like that. Make people feel good, you know. And I
Yeah.
don't know. It's hard to explain it, but he has a lot of the same values that I have. So
Yeah. So kind of using that FE that you have in your stack more, even more.
yeah, like just being a positive force in the universe for sure.
Yeah, I see. Awesome. So you're also in the same animal stack as Dave from Objective Personality. So can you see that there are any similarities between the two of you, like energy wise or in some way, shape or form?
Um, I really don't. I didn't notice it until like I see him and Shan go back and forth, and just seeing like he has the same kind of freakouts I have, but it's like his seem like more intense than mine. I think it's like I just kind of assume like all items or all objects are kind of prone to like some complications, kind of like human error.
Yeah.
So it's like people naturally just anything could happen. Mistakes happen, with people. And with objects, it's like, okay, the thing didn't work. It's like it's not the end of the world. So I
Yeah.
mean that's kind of everything.
But you can relate to getting like really stressed out if something doesn't work, like in the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's like, oh man, this is draining my energy.
Yeah. I guess it's a typical observer thing. I have that going on as well. And it's so crazy when things don't work and you try to be level headed and think, but it's just like, for me, it's like a shortcut. I can't really access my own thoughts and figure the thing out. So, yeah,
Interesting.
maybe it's different for you because you have TI as a savior, but me having intuition and feeling like when a thing doesn't work, like in the ST, and I get blocked. And usually I don't have access to my ST, like in a normal case. So it gets
Right.
even worse when I have a freak out. But do you experience it differently? Like can you access your TI still? Like solve the problem?
Um, I don't know. It's not as great as it sounds, but I think NT with my NT, I can figure the problem out. Like
Yeah.
I basically can, but it's like it's not probably the most efficient way to do it. It's just a way to do it.
Yeah.
Like because for me the objects kind of like or the things in general, the sensory kind of can get in the way of like what I want to do. So it's like, okay, we can, create something really quickly to get the problem figured out in the short term.
Mm. Yeah. But if we think about your stack, like energy wise, you have sleep at the top, and then you have the play or the blast and the play, and they are pretty intense when they are like together. Like, do you feel that you have like this kind of distance before you get started? And once you get started, you just explode and you have this energy, this burst of energy, or how does that play out for you?
Yeah, I think once I do get started, especially if I'm like with other people that I care about and that are good people to be around, um, I can definitely do some like play. Um, so like the way I do things right now in life in general, since I got my type back, is I will process naturally, so I don't have to think about it. But then I tell myself, okay, I need to set my intention on something. So I intend to go and let's say I'll be in the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
My intention might be to just play with you guys and just talk to you guys and just see what's up, have fun, have some conversation, and maybe learn some new things. So then after I set my intention, I'll just get ready to I'll join the Discord, and then through the playing with you guys, I learned some stuff, and then I'm like, hold on, what is this? And
Mm-hmm.
then I ask more questions about it, and then I end up getting like YouTube videos to consume, or like a book recommendation. It's just that's how I'm seeing the functions kind of play out with my animal stack. So
Yeah.
I use the tribe to like learn pretty much.
Yeah. I think we have that in common because we have a very similar animal stack. So it's just that I have the blast over the sleep, but other than that, it's the same. So I do that to like interact with people, to basically consume, to learn new things, and like you, then I go research more afterwards. So I can really relate to what you're saying. Yeah.
It's
So
awesome.
like, how do you think um having sleep first differs? I mean, like for me, I have blast first. So how is your sleep for you? Like, can you describe it? Can you see it? Do you know the difference between having sleep first or having something else first? Have you, yeah, seen anything like comparing yourself to others?
Um, Honestly, it's kind of hard to tell. Like that's why I really didn't know if I had sleep at all. But I think it was like TI. I was able to see the TI, so I was like, equating that to like, oh, I have an inner monologue, and I was learning that it's really tied to my sleep. Like that's why probably, and it was just kind of hard to put into words. But I think now it's like how to put it. It's like I'm constantly processing. I'm constantly like in my head, anyways. Like I'm thinking words kind of thing, and I'm thinking like, okay, how am I gonna get the best experience? How am I gonna make this thing the best it can be? And it's always some like wild goose chase, but I'm constantly in that world, just processing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good example or a good blast at all, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it's perfect. So basically what you're trying to do is just to puzzle things and understand things all the time.
yeah, yeah.
I'm wondering what kinds of things it is that you're trying to understand. So as for me, having Effie as a savior, a lot what my sleep revolves around is to understand how people work, about relationships, dynamics, what drives people, all of this kind of ops stuff or psychology stuff. It's things I have been processing for more or less all of my life. So I have been noticing that the betas seem to be very interested in understanding human behavior. Is this something you can relate to? Is this something you process like when you are doing your sleep?
Yeah, definitely. I'm super into that stuff. Like, what is it? Like human evolution, um, human behavior, natural selection, um, is love a real thing, or is it just like chemicals kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Psychology in general, it's just super interesting to me. The meaning of dreams, the universe, metaphysics, philosophy, like it's a lot of different stuff.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
So
pretty interesting.
what was it that like draw you to OP, to this system? Were you into similar typology things before, psychology, cognitive functions, all that, or was OP the first kind of, yeah, experience
Um,
in that field?
so I learned about Myers-Briggs a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I just kind of stumbled across it maybe, and I was really interested because there was something out there in the world that was claiming to understand me, and I was like, oh, really? Like I just felt different about it. So I just was interested. I'm like, I wonder what this is all about. So I learned about Myers-Briggs, and I think randomly, like during COVID, like when it first broke out, like April 2020, um, I got a YouTube vid in my recommendation from OPS,
Mm-hmm.
and ever since then I've been hooked on it. But yeah, I mean I've been interested for a long time. I think at one point I was trying to solve like a problem. I was trying to understand like what made certain people like more compatible with others, and because I had like a really like kind of crappy relationship, and I was just trying to understand like what did I do wrong, like what really what was going on,
Yeah.
like I wish I could have done things differently,
Mm-hmm.
and just worked out for the better, but I just messed it up. So I was trying to figure out like why did I mess it up. And then I learned like, oh, wait a minute, they say NT likes to argue with a T in general is kind of arguing something, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
just it's so stupid looking back on it, but yeah, now that I know, it's like, okay, I need to raise my FE a little, consciously raise my FE, and just
Yeah.
take the high road.
Kind of tracking what's on the outside, like how does the people, how do they react to what you are, block banging and arguing
Yeah,
about.
exactly. Yep. And understanding like when you're going too far kind of thing. Like like if you don't know anything about like I don't want to project, but like I didn't know anything about other people's experience.
Mhm.
So it was hard for me to like put myself in their shoes to know like what was delicate matter. So it
Yeah.
was like not knowing. Like I feel like it was just kind of like ignorance, more or less, just from being young.
Yeah, exactly. And we all do that. I mean, at some point in our lives, especially when we are younger, we do
Yeah.
project and we do think that people work the same way we work ourselves. And yeah, we have a
Yeah.
hard time
They don't.
understanding. No, they don't. And we don't always see how we come across to others. So we don't intend to be hurting anyone, but yeah, it can be perceived that way. So it's just part
Yeah,
of the journey, I think. Yeah, but
definitely. Yeah.
great, you found OP, so here you are
Oh yeah,
and getting equipped for the rest of your life now.
definitely. Yeah. I'm happy to be here. It's a great
Yeah,
community.
yeah, that too. Yeah, I was in a similar kind of situation as you, also trying to puzzle out like a relationship thing, you could say, and trying to understand like the miscommunication, like why do we keep talking past each other? Like it seems like we don't meet, we don't understand each
Yeah.
other. So what's going on there? And I was just trying to understand it. And finally, when I came in touch with OP, I started, to learn more about the cognitive functions. And what it was that I learned was that there is a huge difference to how TI works compared to FI. And the way of communicating between these two decider axes is like two different languages, is like two different games. And
Yeah.
that actually was something that OP resolved for me, made me understand and see. because for me, I was just trying to logic things out, you know. But when there
Yeah.
is a receiver who is FI on the other end, they aren't really that interested in logicking things out. If for example, the FI is hurt, they don't want to understand. You know, it's
Yeah.
not about the logic. So yeah, it was pointless for me to logic something out. It wasn't well received. So yeah, it
Right.
was very interesting to learn that. So yeah,
Yeah.
the cognitive functions, just to understand how we communicate with them, is so useful, super useful. And yeah, so have you
Definitely.
experienced something similar? Like, have you understood something now that you didn't understand before that you can use in your future, do you think?
Yeah. I think the thing I'm learning more is like, for me, it's like the FE seems to be like the most important thing to use. So I'm just like, in my day-to-day interactions, I'm just like not necessarily like giving them what they want, but I'm just kind of blending to like the needs of the other person, or I'm trying to. So it's like I understand like maybe I want to interject and say something that might help you, give you advice. But it's
Mm,
like they don't really need advice. Sometimes they just want to talk about their problems and feel related to and feel heard, you know? It's not really about offering a suggestion.
yeah,
So my
exactly.
TI would just naturally try to problem solve, but that's not what people need sometimes.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
learn how to do that for you.
exactly. It's kind of learning when it's time to give advice and when it's time just to listen and shut up, you know, and support someone emotionally.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Wow, that's insightful. I mean, you have FE as a demon, so you're already like ahead of your curve, you could say, because you're still young. So yeah, you will learn, and you are learning. That's awesome,
Thank you.
because sometimes we think it's kind of about winning a war or something, win an argument, but actually we don't want to win the argument and lose the person.
Yeah, don't want to lose the person.
No.
It's just it's just high stress, you know, like these arguments just they're not even important really. But for some reason in like my NT will just like go crazy trying to figure out the problem, and it's crazy. So I've
Yeah.
pretty much given up on that whole like trying to block bang and figure things out like that, like live with another person. It's like, no, you need to tend to their emotions right now. You know,
Yeah.
prioritize the relationship, not really the problem figured out. It just takes, hey, be the bigger person. And even if they're completely wrong about whatever you're arguing about,
Mm.
just let it go.
Yeah.
Just literally just let it go and say you're right, you know? And you
That's
know,
hard for the masculine TI.
oh yeah.
Then you have to lie to yourself. How do you
But
do?
it's the best thing you could probably do, you know? You save a
Yeah.
lot of heartbreak.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a tough one. I think like there needs to be like a balance. So for me, having Effie as a savior, I tend to, you know, hide my TI too much already. So for me, it's the
Hmm.
opposite problem. I need to, you know, just open up a little bit more and show myself and show, you know, my reasons and my logics and you know, trusting people, trust that it's not something, you know, dangerous to do that, to share that
Right.
TI. So I guess it's all about finding the balance for both you and I. I mean, regardless from what angle we're coming from, you know.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. I don't really see I currently don't see how I could balance it right now. It's just kind of like I just rather go all FE,
Yeah, yeah.
like just to play it safe, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's so interesting. The problem with going all FE, and trust me, I've tried this in my life, is that in the end, that little TI, it will come and bite you in your ass, you know?
Yeah.
Because if you hide the truth, somehow that will backlash on you. You can't just be positive, good vibes, happy go lucky, you know, just pushing others to be their best and forgetting about yourself. So yeah, I'm kind of preaching my demons now, but I think for you it's a good thing to do this at this point, you know, and then you'll find the balance after a while.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think for me it's like maybe when I use TI, I need to take some of the not I guess you can't take masculinity out of it, but offer your TI as a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of like, up front you do the emotional, the emotional route. You just tend to the emotions. But
Yeah.
at the end, maybe you can offer a suggestion that you've actually processed and you actually think would be like a solution.
Mm.
So it's like it wouldn't be the same as if, like, for example, somebody came to you with this story of what happened and they were really emotional about it, and you immediately went in like, oh, you should do this, then you should do this, XYZ. And they're
Yeah.
like, you didn't even hear me, like, like they're crying, whatever, and you don't know. So it's like
Yeah.
to the emotions first, and then once that's calmer, then maybe offer a suggestion. And
Yeah.
don't like be too like um too imposing with it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sometimes we can even ask, like, do you want an advice? Do you want a suggestion? Because maybe they are open for it, you know,
Right.
and
Definitely.
communicate about it. Or do you just want me to listen, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how this plays out because we are both double deciders. So we kind of move back and forth between ourselves and others. We have it's a short distance since they are both in the middle, those two functions. But one
Yeah.
is still stronger than the other, so we need to work on the weaker one for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. What about your demon SE? So we both have demon SE. How do you see your sensory play out, like the void? Do you notice that in your everyday life, or is it a tidal wave every once in a while, or how does that play out for you?
Yeah. So Demon SE, I'm starting to understand it more. Um, I think in general, I kind of go through life with like the blinders on.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of blur out things that are not in my direct my direct line of sight.
Yeah.
So for example, if I'm going to my car, I'm not gonna look at every single thing outside. It's just I get a quick glimpse and then it's like, okay, I'm just kind of I'm blurring it all out. And I do that all the time. So it's like sometimes I'll be at work and they'll ask me, "Oh, hey, when you were by a certain area, did you see the labels on the box?" I'm like, I didn't even know I was supposed to look out for that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know that was my responsibility. Like don't ask me. I don't know. I wasn't paying
Yeah.
attention.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like the sensory details. Um, my car, for example, like it's so much to learn about a car,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I just didn't understand it. So like I blew up my first engine.
Oh
I was just
yeah.
like on the freeway,
Oh
and I was
no.
yeah, I was just driving,
Oh,
and the engine blew up because I didn't put any
how
oil
did
in it.
that like happen? Like,
I didn't put any oil in it.
oh
I didn't get an
yeah.
oil change. Nobody told me, so I'm like, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
understand. And that's very expensive. I actually did that once too with my first car. I blew up the engine and that was very expensive. So yeah,
yeah,
got you. Low SE
yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
yeah. No idea. Um, Similar situations have happened where like my car would be super loud and I didn't know why it was loud. So I'm like, I didn't even notice it getting gradually louder. I just thought that was normal. And then come to find out, like, yeah, man, your muffler almost fell out your car. I'm like, my muffler? Like, what? Like, I didn't even know. So
You
it's a
know,
lot of sensory.
weren't there any like red lights or anything like alerting
No,
you? No, just the
not at
noise.
all.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just the noise. Yeah. I just thought
Yeah.
oh, it's an older car. That's just what older cars do, you know?
Yeah,
Didn't even
my
give it a
car
second
was
thought.
older too, but I actually got this notice, a red light was saying that, you should check your oil in the engine. But I was so
Oh,
close to
okay.
home, so I was like, I'll probably be able to make it,
Yeah.
stupid. And I didn't.
Has to
So
happen.
yeah, that was a lesson. So I guess we don't really respect the sensory.
Not at all. We don't even, I don't know. It's like it's irrelevant almost. It's like,
Mhm.
well, that should be all right, you know?
Yeah,
This couldn't possibly be something that could be bad for me, you know?
yeah, exactly.
And meanwhile, yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
I know the feeling. Yeah, I was coming home from a lecture and I was still, back in school, just thinking about the lecture. And I was like, oh, that light, oh, whatever, and you just keep on driving.
Yeah,
So yeah.
it'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have had our share of learning experiences when it comes to the SE tidal waves. Any other ones you want to mention, like similar things or other things with missing S
Um,
sensory?
if you're talking about just the sensory, I would say in general, just a lot of like, I don't know, like I feel like that's has a lot to do with like the objects, you know,
Mhm.
because it's a lot of like objects we just don't want to like deal with. It just like you aspire to be good with the objects and master the
Mhm.
sensory, but it
Mhm.
would require you to do your demons, which is super difficult. So it's like, man, I have to consume, I have to do this. What? Oh man.
Yeah, a
But
lot of
it's the only
work.
way. You got to read the instruction manual, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just laughing because it's so relatable. Yeah. So the low sensory and what about time management? Because that's something I struggle with, not tracking, the S and the T enough. So
Yeah.
how does that play out for you?
I am the worst at time management. The absolute worst. I don't even have like sometimes I don't even have like a perception of time. Like it just
Yeah.
kind of evaporates
Mm-hmm.
sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
especially if I'm like trying to take a nap or like if I just close my eyes too long, it's like I don't even know how long I was asleep, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm terrible. I wake up, I don't even know what time. I'm like, is it sun out or is it night out? What's going on? Is it the
Yeah.
morning or is it the evening? I can't tell until I look at my phone, you know? So
I can relate to
I'm
that too.
yeah, I'll go to my jobs, whatever. Like every job I've had, I've always like abused the grace minutes. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna show up at 3 o'clock on the dot, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm just now figuring out like, okay, the way you do this is you prepare ahead of time, you give yourself 2 extra hours, you know. So you wake up 4 hours in advance, you know, you eat early, like it's ways to do it, but
Yeah,
I had a
yeah.
real struggle with it.
It's like if you don't have the sensory as a demon, I think it's hard even to understand how this can be a problem, I
Hmm.
have a lot of friends that are, especially if they have SI as a savior, masculine SI, they can't wrap their head around how this doesn't work, like how is it even possible? But it's like you say, like it's so blurry and it's yeah, you can't even track it. It's something so not in your box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
And also I feel that I have to spend a lot of energy just to track the time, to remember, oh yeah, I have to do this at this time. Or even I write it down, but I have to remember to look in my calendar and I just have to, remind myself all the time. So I feel like I have a certain amount of things that I can put into my schedule, like time wise, that I have to be, sharp on time. And then it's like it's used up. It's over for the week. There is no more, you know. I can't
Yeah,
have any more appointments for it's done. The quote for the week is it's gone,
yeah,
Yeah. So that's
yeah.
kind of interesting.
Planning, yeah, planning time is just stressful in general. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be responsible for it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And how you lose track of it. Like usually if I have like a little bit time over, I'm like, oh, maybe I should play something on my guitar, you know, while I'm waiting or something. And then you come up
Right.
with this idea and, you know, you just get lost in whatever you were
Yeah.
doing. And then, you know, an hour has passed and you thought it was 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy. Time flies too fast, man.
It
Like, I wish it would
does.
just slow down sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It would help. I every once in a while I think it would be helpful, you know, to have an assistant or something just following me.
Yes. Oh my God.
I,
Yes.
I want to have an ST assistant, you know, in my life. That would be
1000%.
awesome. Yeah. Just, you know, to do this small, yeah, remind me and just the small stuff, you know. So yeah.
Yeah. I kind of romanticize the idea of like one day being like really good at like adhering to a schedule or a
Mm-hmm.
calendar,
Yeah.
you know, set time for certain things, you know, you organize your day so well. Because
Yeah.
I don't have no motivation to do any of that. But if
Yeah.
somebody could do that
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna outsource my demons probably. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Save a lot of time.
You do learn a lot by making mistakes. It's pretty harsh, but yeah, that works too. But yeah, finding some sort of system is helpful. And even I know when I have like close friends and we're going to hang out or something, I'll just let them know, you know, before time that if we say we say 7 o'clock, we're going to meet up, then just tell me 6:30. Like, don't even let me know that it's 7 for the rest of the guys, you know, because it
Yeah.
will help me then, you know, just to, yeah, I'll be on time then.
Yeah. You'll
So,
naturally be late, you know?
yeah, yeah, like, exactly. Like,
Yeah, but you'll
just,
be on time.
yeah, you want to have it like planned for being late somehow. Yeah, I guess that's the
Yeah,
NI.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's talk about the animals then. We have talked about the sleep, and if we take the contrast, the last animal in both your and my stack is the consume. And so how did you react when you heard that you were consumed last? Like, did that resonate or did you have to process that for a while?
Yeah. I had to like I immediately kind of like knew what they were getting at. And I
Mhm.
was like, damn it, I really am a bullshitter. Like, I just knew. I'm like, yeah, I have all these books around me and I don't go through any of them. You know, I don't go through half of these books, not even a quarter of these books, you know,
So
but I
tell
have
me
them
about the
around.
books. Like, tell me more about the books. Like, how come you buy them? Like, or do you get them? And what's your intention? You know, let me hear it. What's up with the
So
books?
I just show you.
Mm-hmm.
So I got even right here near me, I got 48 Laws of Power from Robert
Mm-hmm.
Greene,
Yep.
50 of Law, you know, Robert Greene as well, 50 Cent.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
just it's a million over there somewhere. But you know, my intent with them is learn what's inside of them and you know make a better life for yourself. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these books I get from my stepdad. So he's a big library. And he said I can just come through and just, you know, take out whatever I want. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, cool, you know,
Yeah.
sweet, you know. But actually sitting down and reading it, it takes energy. It
Yeah.
takes a lot of energy to sit down and focus, read. Because, you know, my sleep processing will just naturally, like, I can read one sentence and then I want to process everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
can I finish the book, please? Like, it's so
I
invasive.
have the exact same problem. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's
This is so
crazy.
funny.
So consuming is hard to stay focused on because you just get trapped in your sleep cycle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have that exact same problem. Like, you just want to understand every single sentence that you read.
Yes.
So they are so, like, every sentence is so, you know, somehow deep or so intense. So, Yeah, heavy, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you
D-
think about what they were going through when they wrote it. You think about
Yeah,
so much different stuff. It's like, just read.
everything but what we should do, you know, just read the text and go on, move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're trying to understand the person that wrote the book. Where did they come from? How come they wrote this book? How does
Yeah,
this
what it
sentence relate to whatever I have in my box since
right.
before? And yeah, it's
Yeah, what
crazy.
influenced them?
Mm-hmm.
Like what did they see growing up? Their whole life story. You want to figure that out with every sentence. It's like, man,
Yeah.
I'm in the blender.
Yeah. This is a very revealing interview. Like people think that the INFJs has it all together, that we know what we're doing, you know, the Darren Browns, you know, and here we are all messed up.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm sure he
definitely not.
is as well, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I think we can read him.
I think we're all in the blender. And everybody
Hmm.
thinks we're just these rare butterflies or whatever,
Exactly.
unicorns.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, it's such a hard process to read. Um, I think it was very different when I was younger. I think I don't know, maybe because I was more unexperienced and I didn't have as much to sleep process, you know, but I could
Mm,
really read much faster. But these days, I'm such a slow reader. And usually, as you say, you
same.
read one sentence or half a page, and then you have to, you know, process, and then you go write a song about it,
Yeah,
or you do something else.
right. Yeah, it takes you to a whole other world. Just
Yeah,
reading one paragraph. It's like, whoa, this is insane. It's like there's another one and there's another one. It's like so
yeah.
many paragraphs.
But you also have double masculine consume, like myself. So, like I was talking to Michelle the other day, and we were talking about this whole skipping or fast forwarding that you aren't really allowed to do that when you have the double masculine consume. I don't know if you experience it that way.
Yeah,
That can you say that you have read a book if you haven't truly read the entire book?
I can't say I read it unless I read the entire thing,
Mm,
but I feel like it's kind of like cheating if I was to just fast forward to the important part.
yeah.
But I'll do it if I got to do it. If that's what it takes, so be it. I don't want to read through this boring book. I want to get to the part. I want to Ty Lopez it. I want to go to the part where it's important to me.
Yeah. You feel obligated, but yeah, you have to kind of cheat, but you still realize it's cheating, you know.
Yeah,
And I
definitely.
think that's part of the double masculine consume, that you are kind of, you know, with the masculine functions, you are kind of more obligated.
Yeah, you know what? Like, if I know, like, I really just want to cheat on a book, like, I'll legit just read the part that I want to read, and
Hmm.
then I'll like, out of curiosity, I'll just be like, you know what? Let me just open up the book to a random spot and just like start reading and see what happens, see what's in there.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'll read a 1 page or 2 pages, and if
Hmm.
I'm interested, I'm like, okay, I'll keep going. But if I'm not interested, then I'll just go to another part. Because I just feel like I might be missing out on something if I just go for the part that I'm interested in. So
Mm,
it's like I feel a weird obligation to like hop around just in case, like just to be sure nothing else is important here.
yeah.
I'll check it out, skim through.
Yeah, I think that too. Like, we are not very linear. Like, we don't go from A to B to Z and D and, you know, everything. We're
Yeah,
just like going from A to M to O to B. You know, we go back and forth. We're
yeah,
jumping around. It's not
definitely.
linear at all, this
Yeah,
process. Yeah.
and that's how we piece together our understanding.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting, actually, how we do it. I mean, we just do it, but when you start thinking about it, how do you like choose your, if you want to watch a movie or a TV series or something, like how do you pick those?
Well, I probably already know what I want to check out beforehand,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
it's like I've either heard it from somewhere or I've seen it from somewhere, so now I'm aware of it, and I like the trailer. I like what
Yeah.
I saw. I like what I heard.
Hmm.
So then I just want to go and consume it. But don't actually consume it sometimes. I just put it off. Like I have a huge list of like shows I need to watch,
Yeah.
but every now and then, I get some time. It's like, okay, let's just crank out, the first couple episodes.
Do you
And then you feel
enjoy
better.
do you enjoy them at all?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're great. I feel stupid for not doing it sooner.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's often the feeling you get when you like get caught up in a story, like, why don't I do this more often? Because it's so, yeah, it's so good in the moment. Then you, yeah,
The
get back
the
to
thing
your
messed
old.
up, so I can't hear you right now.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? I think you're freezing up a bit. Let me see. Maybe we need to move something here. Okay, better?
It's, I guess Wi-Fi. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's all
maybe, or
good.
maybe it's my Wi-Fi because I'm kind of far from the, yeah, whatever,
It's all good.
sensory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where were we? So we were talking about TV shows and how we pick those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
you,
wanted to ask you,
yeah.
like, how do you pick your TV shows that you watch?
Yeah, sometimes I do it the same way as you said, like I've heard of something, I've seen a trailer or someone has recommended something and I just go check it out. If I really don't have any clue of what to watch, usually what I do, I start, just watching something kind of random for a couple of minutes to see if, it appeals to me, if the actors are convincing enough. I think the actors, for me, that's the most important part, like more important than the story or, yeah,
Yeah.
everything else. So yeah, if it captures my attention, like this is authentic, like this could be real people, I can relate to them, they have like the real functions, these are not just made up characters that don't exist in the op system, if you see what I mean. Like it has
Yeah.
to have an authentic ring to it. So I'll just go through like a couple of those until I hit something that seems interesting enough. Maybe I'll be in the mood for something exciting, a thriller, then I will just check a few of those out. So it
Right.
depends. But it's not like I always find something, so sometimes I kind of spend an entire night just flipping through things and never getting to it. So, and basically thinking about other things, processing other things in the
Right. So
meantime.
were you saying that like it depends if you can like tell if the actors are like believable?
Yeah, that's the main thing. If I'm gonna watch something, it has to be believable. Like even if the
Right.
story isn't like 100% believable, but I have to believe that the character, the actor, like this is a real person, like or
Right.
even if it's fantasy, like Avatar. I actually
Yeah.
like that one. I usually don't like a lot of fantasy, but I like that one because they resonated. The characters were real somehow.
Are you talking about Avatar Last Airbender or Avatar with the blue people?
The blue people, yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really great.
yeah, it's an old one, but yeah, I loved it when it came.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so just that you are able to relate whatever there is on the screen, whether it's a blue person or something else, but it has to
Yeah.
be real, like the real function somehow. Maybe
Gotcha.
that's the ST consume, like the SETI, that it has to be real. I don't know.
Hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to interview more people to know. Yeah, so that
Hmm.
was the consume last then. And then what about your play? Like, how would you describe your play
Man.
as a
I'm just that guy, man. Like it's just so arrogant. It's so jokey. It's so energetic. Like I've noticed like this whole interview, we've been keeping it pretty chill,
yeah.
but I have way more play energy than this. Yeah, like usually. Like as soon as I get around one other person, it's just like I just want to joke around.
Yeah.
You know,
Are you toning yourself down now?
I think I naturally do that, but
Yeah.
whatever the room calls for, you know. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's crazy, man. It's just super childish. It's super just it's cheesy as hell. Like I think the first time I ever met you, I made this like cornball ass joke that you probably didn't even hear me say, but it was like, hey Alexa, and then I was like, something about like where's Siri or something some stupid stuff like that. Just makes me cringe, you know. So I'm just like, I don't want to explain the joke, but if you get it, you get it, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I'm just trying to think back. Yeah, we've been in Discord many times together. So yeah, I'm just trying to track.
yeah, and it's just it just depends on the tribe, man. You
Yeah.
constantly want to interact and have fun and make them laugh and just mess around.
You're
Just
awesome, Darryl. Your play is awesome. When you get going, it's like there is no stop button, to you. Basically, it's like you could just keep going until you fall asleep or something, I guess. Run out of some sort of energy and just fall.
energy dom.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I like when you're in the chat though, because like play is great, but like it's something more important than play. Like I feel like you can use FE differently.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how to explain it, but play is good for the tribe. I think for me it's like I don't like to always do play. Like I really, you know, if it was my choice, I could do it a little more efficiently where it wouldn't drain me. But
Yeah.
it's just
Do you
you
find,
know,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking, is it hard, like, because we're both energy doms, do you find it hard to, get the right balance, find the balance, like with play, you know, yeah, because when you are on a roll or, I think when maybe because it's a demon. So when you're in a roll, you're just, going on, you keep going and going and going. Do you think it's a hard thing to find the balance, like to either,
Um,
yeah, go on.
maybe not. I mean, sometimes that's why I was kind of confused when they said like that I was played third. 'Cause I really didn't think I was played third. I thought I was played second. I
Yeah.
thought I was consuming. I thought my demons were my saviors.
Hmm.
I don't know why, but it
Me too.
just felt like really
Yeah,
that's
yeah. I thought I
interesting.
had play and consume as the top two.
Wow.
Yeah, consume
'Cause
play. But yeah, yeah,
yeah, I thought the same thing. Consume play. Cause I'm like I'm constantly watching YouTube videos trying to figure out
yeah.
things, you know. But that's what it was about. But
But then
I mean,
again,
they even say
like you said, we are consuming, but we are also processing a lot while we are
yeah,
consuming.
the entire time. So you got to watch the video like 10 times just to, you
Yeah,
know,
at least 10 times or more.
yeah,
Yeah, and I don't think the consume saviors, I don't think they do that. Like
yeah, from,
they are the
yeah,
fast readers, and they can watch things and they don't have to rewatch them like the second after they finished it the first time.
yeah, they get it right the first time.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, but I get you because you spend a lot of time, searching for videos, watching YouTube videos, and just taking in.
Yeah, I envy the consume first, you know, like they just hearing the consume first talk about consume, like they say like they consume stuff that's like not even always relevant. They might consume stuff that they don't even need to consume. They might binge the wrong thing, but
Yeah.
it's better than having to watch it 10 times just to get it one, like get the concept or get the,
Yeah.
because you're too busy processing, you know?
Yeah, we're using that time anyway, so we could as well have been binging something that we didn't need because
Yeah,
we're watching
very
the
true.
same time, like binge
Over
watching
and
the
over.
same episode.
Yeah,
I think it
definitely.
was Dave, he said something that, you know, there was this show where they are trying to find the hidden car, like someone parked a car somewhere in a big city, and you have
Okay.
to find the car by, eliminating the wrong places where the car probably is not parked, and finally zeroing in, like narrowing down on this one place where it can be. And I think it was that show, and Dave said something along the lines of he had been watching it 600 times or something. That very same episode, you know? So
Wow.
that's consume last, I guess. That's kind of
Huh.
much, a lot to me, but yeah.
That's interesting. Because now I'm thinking like, well, how in the world are they gonna find this one car? Like, do they have
Yeah.
any details? Like, what's the sensory? You know?
Yeah, what's the sensor?
Like,
That's, yeah, maybe you're the next person who will watch it 600 times because it's kind of interesting. Yeah, I'll see
yeah.
if I can give you the link after.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
pretty interesting. Yeah, I thought that too. And basically that's,
Hmm.
I think, how he worked out, like, I mean, you know, how we type, you know, P is like, this person is not Tony Robbins, kind of, it's a process
Yeah.
of, you know, yeah, kind of,
Elimination.
yeah, exactly. We are doing that. So it's basically the same principle as finding that one car in that huge city, you know, finding this one 512 type on the chart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same.
Wow, that's a good analogy. Jesus Christ.
Well, we are NI saviors, so that's what
Yeah.
we do, right?
Yeah. That's just how we do, you know?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
something that's quite funny, I think, like in Discord, we're quite a few INFJs at this point.
Yeah, we're taking over.
Yeah,
World
we are totally
domination.
taking over because, like, I've been keeping track, and we are sometimes between 60 and 70%, like, in the chat. So we are totally
Mm.
not the rarest type there is, at least not in Discord,
Yeah. Definitely not in
or
Discord.
this Discord, to be specific.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe there is no rarest type. Did you think that you were
Right.
an INFJ like before OP?
No. Because for a split second I kind of pondered it, but then well, I watched this one video. It was like everything INFJ. I think I related to a lot of it, but it was just like in my mind, Myers-Briggs said Martin Luther King was an INFJ.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, turn the other cheek. I don't know if I'm that like nice. I don't know if I'm really that nice of a person, but
Yeah.
that's like an aspiration kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of related more to like the INTP memes. So I was like, I gotta be INTP. Like it's no way I'm not this asshole who the tribe just probably doesn't like, but I just don't care, you know? Like
Yeah.
I super resonated with all the INTP memes. I thought it was real, you know. I really thought it was a serious thing, but it's
Yeah.
not until you see the spectrum that oh wait, I'm not like that guy.
Yeah. For instance, now when you are in Discord, you can actually compare yourself to like an OP typed INTP just to
Yeah,
see how that
yeah,
is.
like seeing what FE fourth is like, you know,
Yeah.
as opposed to my FE third double activated. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, you're not double deciding. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like it's so different. I'm like, oh, I just couldn't see it because I wasn't looking around enough, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But I get that because I mean, you have TI as a savior, so INTP is still in the realm of it, you know, it's still there somehow,
yeah,
not too far off. So
yeah,
also being a jumper, I mean, there are no jumpers in the regular, like in the Myers-Briggs system. So you could actually not have guessed your type correctly in that system because it's not there.
right. Yeah, it makes it even harder. It's like you
Yeah.
constantly feel like you hope someone can understand you, but you've
Mm,
never seen it described exactly right, you know?
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Tell me more about that, like hoping that someone would understand you. Do you feel that now having, you know, got your type in OP, getting to meet new people that are typed in OP, like, is that any different? Do you feel that you are more understood today than you were before OP?
I would say so, definitely. Um, it's definitely given me some like something new to process.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm able to explain things more now. because they
Yeah.
talk about like NI with having this like deep inner world kind of thing, like rich inner world.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the stuff where I really couldn't explain. But there's just certain concepts. They sound crazy, but it's like it's just an eyebrow, you know? Like I
Yeah.
think an eye is hard to really kind of box in. It's hard to like say what's an eye and what's not. But I think it's kind of like just rounding it up. Like it's all miscellaneous, just throw it in the an eye box, you know, like it's there, you know. I
Mm.
can explain my crazy whatever through just saying, oh, it's an eye, you know. I
Yeah.
just
We can
yeah.
at least use that term. It's an I if it's crazy.
Yeah.
So people will accept that.
Abstract. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people.
Exactly. Yeah. They accept that.
Yeah, I find that too. It's useful to be able to use the terms like I'm consume last. Can you please explain that to me? Because it's so fast.
Yes.
Everything is so fast, and I can't keep track. So now it's perfect because now people know why I can't do that, and I don't feel stupid either. So it's kind of good. It's useful.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I said that just the other day to somebody, and they were like, they gave me a heart react or whatever. There's like, oh, here's what I meant by that. And they were so
Oh,
cool about it. So
yeah.
it's really great to communicate.
Yeah. Using the terminology. It's cool.
Hmm.
Yeah. What about having Savior Blast because you thought you were consume play? Like, how did you experience that? Like being told that you have Savior Blast?
Once I understood what it meant, I kind of got it because a lot of people told me like that I would be a really good like motivational speaker kind of thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and like just hyping somebody up, you know. And I I just immediately kind of saw it, and then I
Hmm.
understood like why when I was in school, when it came time to like present a project, I just felt excited. I just felt like I could do it. It didn't feel like it was difficult to be in front of a crowd of people.
Yeah, yeah,
So that one didn't. I was thinking more like on the productive side, you know.
yeah.
I wasn't really thinking about the like the talking side of it.
Yeah.
So
Do you
yeah.
feel that it's easy to improvise when it comes to
Mm,
speaking?
I think so. Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
like I feel like I can talk to anybody and about
Yeah,
anything. It's like you know, it'll be what it'll be. You know, it's nothing to
exactly.
really worry about.
Because the thing is, you don't know what's going to happen and you don't know what you are going to say either, but you're kind of just playing it by ear,
Yep,
and yeah, it will
go with the
just
flow.
work itself out somehow, not
Yep, and it doesn't have to
overthinking.
be perfect.
Exactly. Yeah, and that is
Yep.
what Blast is about, like using whatever you have, whatever skills you have, the way I see it at least. Like I have the skill to speak, or I have the skill to play an instrument, or I have the skill to do something else, and just using that skill, and whatever lacks you will have to learn along the way and
Yeah,
just add.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and people help out as well. I mean, if you just get going, things will start happening for you. People are there, they're willing to help, they are. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
it's gonna
It's
work
pretty
itself.
great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, this whole Blast thing. I also,
Yeah.
yeah, because I thought it was about speaking, just speaking and being kind of ST clear and, teaching the steps. But I was thinking of the SITE blast, I guess, when I heard the word blast. So I didn't really get that
Interesting.
there was so many different forms, like you're saying, your and mine as well, since we are the same
Yeah.
type. So it's the motivational blast, like the Sadhguru blast, which is very different from the army style ST blast, yelling
Yeah.
and screaming what to do, like in the real world, versus
Yeah.
actually getting someone, inspired and things like that.
Yeah. It's multifaceted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, because like I'll hear like the demon blasters. They'll say like how much they like learned this one thing, but they can't get it out. They can't express it.
Yeah.
So sometimes they'll like feel like I think how does it work? It's like they can't represent themselves or
Mm.
assert themselves as somebody who knows about it, even though
Yeah.
they are somebody who knows about it. And I
Yeah.
don't think I really have that same kind of struggle. But it's just interesting seeing, how blast it works in different spots,
Yeah. Yeah, I think they set the bar too high, like they have to, you know, feel that they know more than necessary. They have to, almost, yeah, I don't know, gather too much before they even open their mouth, or before they get started, before they start doing the thing. It's like it has to be perfect, like perfectly prepared or something. I don't know exactly how to word it, but yeah,
Yeah.
it seems
Yeah.
to.
I think I use my NI to kind of like jump.
Yeah.
If I had to like use blast, it's like, okay, I don't know all the sensory, but I don't need to know the sensory. It's like I can assume, a situation. I can go off of that alone and just blast.
I think the problem is only that I think when you have, especially consume last, you can come off as if you actually know what you're doing, as if you actually know what you're going to say. And that's not the case, because you're just kind of using the NI to navigate. So you
Yeah.
have this bird's eye view, this overview, this idea, the general idea of the thing, of the concept, but you don't really know how you're going to execute. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of interesting that apparently you seem confident, like from the outside. It's not how you feel on the inside, though.
Yeah. Definitely. It's not. Um, yeah, that's just like one of those things, like icing on the cake kind of thing. Like, oh, that's great that it happens, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't understand it myself. I think
No.
I feel like some of the insights can be limited to perception,
Mm.
but it's important not to get your perception mixed up with like truth, because you know the truth can knock over all this stuff. Like whatever you're blasting on,
Yeah.
the truth. If you don't know the truth, you can just blast the wrong thing, and
Yeah.
it's not necessarily good.
That's
So
no, no, no. Yeah.
yeah, so you get into conspiracy theory sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. If you are not fact checking and all that, of course. Yeah.
Exactly, taking in the sensory.
Yeah. That's so true. I wonder, maybe this is a sensitive subject, but I'm just thinking like, if that is any different when there is the TE axis going on, because the TE is more throwing out ideas all over the place. It's not like stacking and building a logical train of thoughts, And if you have
Mhm.
that combined with the NI jumping, like, I'm just thinking that, yeah, maybe that could be even more wild, in terms of conspiracy theories. I don't know if there is a difference, or if it's the same with all the IJs. Maybe I'm relying too much on the TI, thinking that, yeah, but the TI at least is logical. But I mean, we can be off as well. We have been stacking maybe the wrong things
Um,
over time.
it's
Oh, is it
are
lagging
you back?
again?
Yeah, it was lagging, but I heard you said the last thing I heard you say was like, I wonder how it works for T because the NI, if the NI was to jump,
Yeah,
something like that, right?
yeah, because the TE naturally jumps everywhere, looking for the answers and the solutions and the logics and all that. And
Yeah.
then I'm thinking like that's what the NI does also. It also kind of has this tendencies to jump ahead, and yeah, not very grounded, like, in the
Yeah.
reality. So I'm just thinking like how that plays out in terms of conspiracy, if there is a difference when you use that axis combined with NI versus if you have the TI axis.
Yeah. Like that's the EST jumper, if I'm not mistaken, with the NITE or TENI. Um, yeah, I really don't, I'm not really sure. Like,
Yeah,
I gotta
let's not go
process.
there. We have to think about it
Yeah.
somewhere else
Yeah.
and process that
Yeah.
later. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so do you feel that you ever have those kind of conspiracy theories? Because I don't know, I have a hard time relating to that actually, but I always keep hearing that, you know, if you're INJ, you're almost supposed to have that. I don't know.
Man. um, hmm.
Yeah, you
Well,
can't relate
I'll
either.
say I can relate. It's
Yeah.
just I don't even know if I want to say that I relate because it's like
Oh, it's
you
sensitive.
don't. Yeah, it's really sensitive. It's like
Yeah, I
you don't
can.
want to sound like you're crazy because then you become invalid, you become irrelevant, you become he's just crazy, you know.
Yeah, I
So
understand. Yeah, well, in a sense, I guess everyone is crazy with whatever functions they have. So,
yeah, because it's like we're constantly doing like some like kind of detective work
yeah.
like through this, and we realize at a certain point, oh, the sensory is now cut off because if you were to actually get the sensory, it would tell you plain as day, you know, who the
Mhm.
culprit is, you know.
Yeah.
So having to deal with that, it's like you can't ever really assert your conspiracy theory because everyone's looking for proof. And it's like, you
Mm.
idiot. If the proof was here, it wouldn't be up for debate.
Yeah,
You know, like,
exactly.
do you not understand why somebody would want to hide the proof? But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
whatever, you know. You just it's okay, you know. You get used to it, but you definitely
Yeah.
can take one little small thing or one little small pattern that you think you see
Hmm.
and you'll stretch it into this whole like potential reality in the future where this thing gets bigger, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's so true because the intuition is guessing. It's a lot of guessing, guesswork, and
Yeah, it loves to guess.
yeah, and of course it has to guess as well because when we don't have all the facts, then we need to guess as well. So I guess we need both. We
Yeah,
can't just rely on, you know, the hard facts that are here today and gone tomorrow because there is a tomorrow. And do we see like patterns over time that makes it probable that something similar will happen again in the future and so forth? So yeah, I guess we are very busy thinking about the future. Do you ever feel that you miss like the present because of that NI wanting to jump ahead and always looking at the future? Like, do you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely have noticed like sometimes in real life, like when I'm playing,
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of like take myself out of the experience and
Mm-hmm.
I'll process. And I'm like, I need to be in the moment more. I need to be present and
Yeah.
just, just go with it,
Yeah.
so I can be more involved with, the people.
Mm-hmm.
And it would naturally make you better with the FE. But if
Yeah.
you're in your head too much, you're not really there.
No, you aren't. And another thing that I have noticed with myself also, because this whole single observing thing is a problem. And so how I kind of the analogy I use to explain it is that it's like I have like a pair of binoculars. I'm just looking, far, far ahead.
Yeah.
And the other perspective would be to use, a magnifying glass, basically. And if you are a double observer, you will have like, you can shift easily between both of them, You can see what is here very close up, and you can also see what is over there, like further away. Kind of, you have both perspectives. Maybe it's not a good analogy, but yeah, basically that's how I see it, that you are able to shift. Maybe you can change the binoculars and the magnifying glass to something else, but the principle.
Yeah. Interesting.
So for us having an
Cool.
eye, we use the binoculars and we kind of, trip because we miss what's right here in front of us.
Yeah. Very well said. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how
Definitely.
I experience it. And then another part of it is also that NI basically, sometimes I think NI is not looking at the future, but it is already in the future and kind of looking back at the present.
Yeah.
And when you see it that way, the present becomes irrelevant because you are already there
Yeah.
in the future. So nothing really matters,
It's yeah.
you know. You
Very
get me?
very true.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. I've done that before. Like it's even to the point of like you just kind of romanticize the future to the point where like you just start thinking of like, oh, like for example, like you start to think like you see what you'll be in the future more or less if you do a certain thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to enjoy certain things. So I should enjoy them now. Well, I can.
Mm.
So it's like doing music, it's like, okay, well, if I do music at the highest potential that I could, one day I might be famous. So it's like I better enjoy being around people in the public while I can, and just being in a mall or something like that.
Hmm.
And just be in the mall, just
Yeah.
have fun in the mall. Because
Yeah.
one day I might not be able to do that anymore, you
Exactly.
know?
Yeah. It's so funny how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is then that we don't really know if we have the correct, NI. So we don't know if that is
Yeah.
the future that will play out. And if we base, all of our current actions on that projection on the future, and then the future turns out to be something else.
Yeah.
You know
Then it
what
would
I'm
just be
saying?
overconfidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we have missed out kind of. So we need
Hmm.
to try and just ground ourselves and be present and actually look at the facts, like the real hard facts, what's here in front of us right now.
Exactly. Because that's going to be the stuff that will stop us from reaching that plan, that future, whatever,
Yeah,
it'll
that
be the
too.
sensory.
That too. Yeah. Yeah, this is a very intuitive conversation. I hope our audience are able to follow some of it. A bit abstract, but I love it. It's wonderful to have that opportunity to talk and talk.
Yeah, definitely,
Um,
man. It's
yeah.
beta vibes.
Yeah, beta vibes. And now you were also mentioning the music, because beta quarter has been called the music quarter,
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. There are a lot of people making music in this quarter. Uh,
Hmm.
is, well, my consume last statement here, so it's not very well checked fact. But yeah, it seems like there are several people, like, yeah, that I have talked to, and also the famous people we have typed and so forth.
Oh,
Eminem,
interesting.
Snoop Dogg, Billie Eilish, and more others as well. So you said that you
Oh,
are into making music as well. Tell me more about that. Like, what kind of music? When did you start? What does it
yeah.
look like?
So essentially, it's hip hop production, electronic production, rapping. Um, it could be anything, honestly. Like, it's not limit. I'm not limiting it to anything. I probably wouldn't touch country necessarily, but you know, any genre that I don't know. I just feel comfortable with any genre,
Hmm.
but it's all just to get what's in my mind out of my mind and put it in
Yeah.
the reality. Because I have some ideas that I have there, but it's like I can't put them. I can't literally go into like a music DAW and
Yeah.
just put it there immediately. You know, but it's like, man, I need to learn how to do this so I can get these ideas out of my head. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the hardest part.
Again, we need this ST assistant in our life.
Yeah, it's like, hey, are you really training on your music production? You better be doing it by this time. Like
Yeah.
I need that sometimes. Because it's
Hmm.
hard to like for me, it's hard to do certain things for myself, but I can do it for another person if they were literally like, hey, I don't have much time. Could you help me out? I could do it for them,
Yeah, I'm
but I couldn't do
wondering
it for me.
what's that about? Is it the TIFE axis? Because I've
Not
heard
sure.
several in beta quarter say the same thing. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
that holds true for all but like two savior TIs have said that so far, and I feel the same way. And yeah, I don't know,
I,
like,
you
why do
know,
we do things for other people and not for ourselves?
I think. Well, I'm not sure for someone who's not like lead sleep. I think it
Mhm.
might be like whatever you are first. It's what you're so addicted to doing
Yeah.
that you'll get stuck in doing that, and then you'll only do something for another person because it's like you. It's not. It's like kind of like you realize it can hurt them if you don't. do the thing. So you want to make sure that you do the thing, but you don't have that same kind of care for yourself because you're naturally going to be stuck in whatever you're stuck in, but you're
Yeah.
never going to necessarily you can't just hype yourself out of it sometimes, but you could do it for another person. If you have, FE, whatever, it's like, oh yeah, I
Yeah.
should do this for you. Yeah, let me get my stuff together right quick and just, figure it out. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's crazy. Yeah, yeah. I totally
So insane.
resonate. Yeah. We have to
Yeah,
stop
I
that.
just we do. Yeah, it's crazy. I'll be on my head processing all day. Then somebody calls me up to do something. It's like, oh yeah, no problem, and you just do your demons on the fly,
Yeah,
like it
yeah.
wasn't even your demons.
Yes, suddenly you can do them because you're doing them for someone else.
Yeah, it's like they give you permission because they
Yeah.
need it or something like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's crazy. It just takes you out of that addiction for a minute. It's like, oh, okay, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's something I have to process more. Now I felt that this is something we are onto something here, something super interesting. But
yeah,
how come we do that? Seems to be
yeah,
a beta thing also, or maybe
yeah.
FBTI axis.
Mm, I want to understand it because I think this is probably going to be like where we get the biggest gains from. Like, if we can somehow force ourselves to like help ourselves the way we help others, we
Yeah,
could do anything at that point.
we could. Yeah,
Yeah. In
that's
theory, the motivation would be there.
like one of my very good friends who she's on the TEFI axis. She's always so
Mm,
surprised, like, why don't I do the things for me, for myself? Because even if she's TE, I think she's tribe over self. I'm also tribe over self, but she seems to have that FI kind of working for her, that she will still do the things, both for the tribe, but it's always even, I think she's a double decider. I think it's like still the FI that is in control, like the things that
yeah.
she likes somehow. While with
Mm,
me, it's not that. It's like the FE scanning, looking at the tribe and what do they value? What do they need? And whatever I need it's not even on the radar somehow.
yeah. It's interesting. I think perhaps it's like we view the tribe as more immediate to
It is, but I hear you saying something very similar, even though you are self of a tribe.
yeah. I mean, no one wants to be the asshole, and no one also wants to be like the person who couldn't help them. Because I figure like I think of it the same way I think of myself. So it's like if I'm coming to somebody, I probably really need their help. I probably
Yeah.
really need it. And I'm not just coming there for like emotional stuff. I'm coming there to like solve something.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
I'm probably not going to go to everybody with this problem. So it's like if I'm thinking they're doing the same thing to me. So it's like, oh, you're only coming to me with this problem. So I must be the only one that can help you. So yeah, let's figure it out. Now
Yeah,
just engage, play, and we'll figure something out.
exactly. But then if you turn that around, is it the same from their part as well? Is that your experience?
Turn it around how?
Um, yeah, so the way you see it is that if someone comes to you, that must be because they need you and they have no one else to turn to, right?
Yeah.
And do you think that's the same way? It works the same way in reverse, that they would be there for you in a similar way?
No, not necessarily. I don't really expect people to help me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I'm kind of hoping that I can make myself help myself. So
Yeah,
like sometimes when I'm like thinking or doing my inner monologue, I'll try to split myself into like three different kind of things, like three different I don't know if you say personalities, but like three different perspectives with their
yeah.
own voice.
Uh-huh.
And I'm essentially trying to make it to where like we can somehow um make it urgent to do the thing. But then I realized if I don't do the thing, it's not going to be the end of the world because no one's going to treat me any differently. it would
Yeah.
just be myself. So it's
Mm-hmm.
no real nothing anything to fear. But you would naturally fear like, oh, I couldn't help my friend out. I'm gonna feel like terrible. They're gonna think I'm like whatever, But you don't have that with yourself really. So it's
Hmm.
like it takes away the urgency. It takes away the fear. It takes
Uh,
away all that for me.
yeah, yeah. I see where you're going. Yeah. Interesting. I can relate a lot to what you're saying. And as you say, it's not necessarily that other people will treat you the same way. Like, yeah, it won't always be reciprocated. Depends on whether, if it's a good time for them or not. And while you yourself, you will just let everything go and go do the thing, help them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what that is, because you are describing something that I can resonate with a lot. Okay.
Yeah. I want to figure it
Interesting.
out one day.
Yeah. I think like we got like 2 or 3 things that we need to go and process after this interview.
Yeah, it really feels like this is the biggest thing that motivates me in life, like helping other people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if I could somehow create this same motivation in myself naturally, I'd be
Yes.
unstoppable. So
Yes.
yeah,
I feel something very similar to that as well. And
yeah,
I think it's so super interesting that you say that, because you are self of a tribe. So I just thought, well, it's, DE, that thing, but I don't think it is anymore.
Mhm.
It's more the FETI axis, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's
Mm.
a beta thing or if the alphas who also have FETI experience something similar. So yeah, we need to research that a bit more, see if we
Yeah,
can
definitely.
understand it. Yeah. Wow, this has been super interesting, Darryl. Thank you for sharing all these thoughts, because yeah, I just feel that I have learned so much just by listening to you. And yeah, I get more material to sleep process, more things to piece
Thanks.
together.
Yeah, I gotta process it myself. Like, man,
Yeah.
like I didn't realize how important it was until I started talking to you. I'm like, oh, dang it, yeah,
Yeah.
this is really important.
Yeah. Same here. Wow. Okay. So Saber sleeps trying to play here. Um,
Right.
what else? What have we missed? Is there something you want to add? Something you have been thinking about? Some news, some recent discovery, something you've learned being on Discord, or something else
Mm.
like about the OP, the parts of the system, animals, functions, whatever.
Uh, well, I have been interested in learning about like the TE-FI spectrum
Mhm.
and just learning like what is it about and excuse me, like
Yeah.
just trying to understand that perspective because it seems like that's so opposite of me
Yeah, it is
because
very
they don't have
opposite.
the FE.
Hmm.
Yeah, like they don't have the FE, so it's like how do they like? I just wonder like how do they think like you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. We'd need to have like a TEFI person here, I guess. But yeah, what I have learned from the conversations, it's basically like it's a totally different language, and yeah, the perspectives are very, very different. So it's kind of hard to
Yeah,
translate to our language. It doesn't really make sense, in TI, if we speak TI, that
right.
TFI axis doesn't really make sense. But I think what we were talking about the other night in the Discord was that, yeah, I guess it depends whether it's an FI demon or a FI savior. But I think what we were talking about was the TE savior that
Yeah,
has FI as a demon. And then maybe if they feel hurt, like for some reason, they will stop doing the logic game. They won't, be interested in, solving the problem anymore, because now they are FI hurt. So the TE will basically just be used as a weapon, to throw out whatever reasons that are needed to get their FI emotional way. I think that is what is so hard for us who have TI in our stack to understand, because we are just trying to reason things out. We want to logic the thing, and they are not playing that game anymore. So if it's like FI third or fourth function, so in a daemon state that is hurt, they will just not play that work it out game anymore. So we are kind of screwed, because there is no way we can reason with them anymore.
It's like once you've messed up, it's all right. You can't
we're done. And that's when the FI burn down happens. That's when we are, we're totally screwed. There is no going back for us.
Right.
So I think that's basically the essence of what we were talking about in the Discord. I'm not sure. Yeah. Maybe we should talk more about it off the camera. I don't want to say inaccurate things. Maybe there are people who have TEFI that don't agree with me. I don't know. And but that's the way I have understood it. Like, I have tried to solve the problem, talk it out.
Yeah.
After someone, experiencing that. Yeah. Basically, they have felt offended, and it's not possible to talk it out at that stage. They will just leave.
I think it's also kind of interesting, like when they're presented with like some kind of like truth, and if it doesn't resonate with the FI, it can be taken negatively. And it's like, I don't know, it's like, I didn't think of it like a bad thing to tell the truth with TI. I'm just thinking like, oh, this is the natural, it's the truth, so might as well work with it and see what we can do about it, try to fix the problem, whatever. But I don't really see the TEFI really trying to do that if they're like offended.
Yeah, actually, I think we have like, the answer to that should be something similar to what you said in the beginning. Like, sometimes we just need to do more of the value thing and less of the logic, the reasoning thing, and just try and understand where people are, at like where they are emotionally. And, again, the logic isn't the most important thing, even though it is, because you want things to be right, correct and all that with the TI, but it's still not, because the person is more important. The relationship is more important. So I think acknowledging that and starting from there, and hopefully when someone feels more validated, they will be open for, talking things over like later. But I think we have to start with that.
Find like word selection, it's more about how you say it, so it's like, you got to use FE more.
And just be supportive and like empathetic, I guess. Because I think with masculine TI, once you get started, and you want to figure something out or make someone understand something, it can be pretty, strong.
You just start laying out the truth, like, okay, well, this is this is this, so with these elements we should be able to figure out, X whatever,
and they don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear that, at that point. So it's all about timing, I guess. Like, there is a place, time and place, for everything. So that's a tough one. We have to continue talking about that, like off the camera, because it's a super interesting thing,
definitely
need to figure that one out.
I've been trying to figure out, like, how do like the double deciders not offend the double observers, because I was starting to like notice that it was a kind of a thing, like that how to put it, that double observers were seemingly just a little more like they read it a little bit more deeply into words than the deciders would, like the double
Yeah.
deciders. And I'm like, I wonder how many people that I'm like actually,
Offending by mistake.
yeah, just not even knowing that they're taking it as serious as as they are.
Yeah, I know. I've wondered the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Mm,
I want a cheat code, to like understand.
yeah. Yeah. That's the thing also with, I guess when you are in intuitive land, like the head over the clouds somehow, and you miss the here and now and the sensory and the facts, and all that. So
Yeah,
we're not always very accurate, I think. Like we are talking more in terms of overview thinking, like the
yeah,
main points and that. But if that is taken too literally, maybe someone will misunderstand. So I guess we need again to respect the sensory and just, get out of our heads and be present in the moment and just, look around. What is real? What is real to other people? What is not far ahead in the future? Spell things out that we think are obvious, that we hate doing. We don't want to state the obvious. But
yeah,
I think that's what we need to do, be more sensory, correct, in a sensor way of
yeah,
speaking.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a
definitely.
tough one. Yeah, and I think, having our functions, we think that other people are able to, read between the lines and just, see that we are coming from a good place, that,
Right.
the motive is, it's something pure, it's something, kind and yeah. But it's
Yeah,
also
but they,
important how it comes across. It's not just,
yeah,
the why, because not everyone looks at the why. A lot of people just look at the what.
exactly. Wow, really extremely well said. Yeah, 1,000%. They don't always see your intent,
Yeah.
and to a certain degree, you can never really know intent unless, like, even if someone tells you their intent, there's no real way of seeing that or
Yeah,
knowing that
exactly.
because it's
Uh-huh.
it's all abstract.
Yeah.
So they have to kind of rely on like you know what
Yeah.
they feel. If they
Yeah.
think it's malicious, it's real
Exactly.
to them.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have the intuition. So we are kind of reading the vibes all the time. And somehow I
Yeah,
think we expect other people to do that as well.
yeah, probably. Yeah,
But if it's like a demon third or fourth for them, for some people, I mean, how can we expect them to do that?
yeah. It's probably just a mistake. Everybody thinks everybody's like them, kind of thing.
Yeah. So then we would need to be more clear, like more ST clear, and just spell things out and
Yeah, like,
communicate
hey,
like,
yeah, I want you to know that I love you, and lead with that.
yeah,
Like state the obvious. Like,
state the obvious. Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that could be a conclusion for this interview. Um, Thank you so much, Darryl, for coming on. And I feel like we could talk basically all night.
yeah,
The
definitely.
intuition land. Yeah. So, but I think we're good with the interview. And I'll probably ask you for the second round, maybe in a year or so. I'm thinking of redoing all the interviews then later
Yeah,
on.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully by then I'll have some kind of tripod that like you can just set it up upright and it'll just hold it,
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of just
That's helpful.
sideways.
I'm amazed that you've been able to hold your phone all the time so steadily. After all, I mean, it's hard work.
It's not the worst thing, but yeah, hopefully by then I'll figure something out.
You will.